Wonder water. Wonderful mineral and trace elements water. The quantum technology chosen by Wonder Water is the result of more than 25 years of research and a $100 million investment in technology research and development. This technology has been rigorously tested by more than 10 higher education institutions, universities, and laboratory units, and has achieved remarkable results. Our technology is a technology that uses the theory of quantum mechanics to change the chemical properties of substances to achieve the desired effect. For example, if the calcium content in the natural mineral water is too high, we can reduce the calcium content through technology and convert the excess into other essential or non-existing elements in the raw water. There is no need to use any chemicals or additives in the process, and it will not produce any byproducts, are absolutely environmentally friendly. Our quantum technology. Report from Taiwan 101 CTS News Magazine.
Hello everyone. I am Fang Qi. Today we are in a mysterious place. Does this look like a castle to you? It's actually a machine with some unusual markings on it. This machine is called a photoelectromagnetic quantum reflectometer. It can absorb energy and also change the molecular structure of matter. Is it really that amazing? Let's look at this experiment. Workers enter a series of equations on a control panel, then place 2 boxes of mineral water in original packaging on a conveyor belt. At the push of a button, mineral water enters the machine. A clear acrylic box drops and covers it. There are also some unique graphics on the top of item boxes. This particular machine is called a photoelectromagnetic quantum reflectometer. I heard it can change the structure of water molecules. Will the mineral water in the instrument really change after scientific treatment? This is the inspection report of SGS, an authoritative inspection agency in Taiwan. After the original mineral water is magnetized by the photoelectromagnetic quantum reflectometer, all trace elements have changed. The significance of these changes is extraordinary, because modern people generally lack trace elements, leading to various chronic diseases. The U.S. Senate document number 264 issued a serious warning to the lack of trace elements in modern people. The report notes that the fruits, vegetables, grains, eggs, and even milk we eat today are nothing like the same foods we ate centuries ago. Today, no one can rely on eating a lot of fruits and vegetables to supplement enough trace elements to maintain the health of the human body.
Our bodies need 1 to 2 kilograms of food, 2,000 gallons of air, and 2 to 3 liters of water every day. Good quality water rich in trace elements is very important, as water makes up approximately 60% of an adult's body weight. Trace elements in water are indispensable elements for human body functions. They are not the macro minerals such as calcium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, and magnesium. Trace elements have specific biochemical functions. They are the components of enzymes, hormones, vitamins, and nucleic acids, and participate in the metabolic process of life.
The proportion of trace elements is very low, maybe less than 1%, but the role it plays is the role of enzyme catalysis. All biochemical reactions, the most important role of enzyme catalysis, you have 2 raw materials, but you do not catalyze, the biochemical reaction can't be carried out, there will be problems with the metabolism in the body.
You can trace every sickness, every disease, and every ailment to a mineral deficiency. Quoted by 2-time Nobel laureate, Dr. Linus Pauling. If there is a long-term lack of trace elements, the activity of enzymes in the body will decrease, resulting in a slowdown of biochemical reactions in the body, which will also reduce immune function and endocrine balance, and increase the chance of chronic diseases. It can be said that the amount of trace elements in the body is very small, but very important. Our bodies are made up of billions of cells. They are the building blocks of life, the basic unit of structure and function of an organism. Water is the most abundant component in cells, and the proportion varies with the type of cells. For example, human bone cells contain about 20% water, while brain cells contain 85% water, and the water content of ordinary cells is usually around 70%. The densely packed material in the cell is called chromatin, and the number of groups containing deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, formed when the cell divides non-coilly is called chromosome. Chromosomes are duplicated before cells divide, a process called DNA replication. The main function of DNA is to store and share stored information with cells. Simply put, it is to allow cells to regenerate new cells from stored information. This is why every time a cell dies, we replace it with a new one. Today's chemical toxins, radiation, etc. can damage our DNA, causing harmful cells to be replicated. Like duplicating a damaged videotape, these inferior replicators may not work well. They may even lose their identity and become fully undifferentiated cancerous cells. Many mountains or underground springs in the world do not have enough or balanced trace elements, and food is also produced with chemicals, so it is difficult to supplement enough trace elements, so modern medical scientists have to look for sources of trace elements everywhere.
This photoelectromagnetic quantum reflectometer has undergone many verifications. It has been confirmed that the content of trace elements such as selenium is almost twice that of raw water, and the content of germanium is even more considerable. The content of germanium in each wonder water is more than 10 times that of raw water. Both germanium and selenium are the most important anti-cancer and antioxidation elements for the human body. Wonder water model number 540W, suitable for mass market, also contains relatively high chromium, copper, and germanium elements, which have more diverse effects on the body.
Chromium has a considerable effect on weight loss and diabetes. The most popular one is metabolic syndrome, including diabetes and hyperlipidemia. These obesity and overeating conditions are all related to the metabolism of chromium.
The Wonder Water model with a particularly high magnesium content can make people energetic, and the Wonder Water model with a particularly high copper content can strengthen blood vessels and muscles. How does the magical photoelectromagnetic quantum reflectometer make such a huge change in the original sealed packaged water?
The water is not only H2O, it also dissolves many minerals and elemental structure. Because of this high-speed impact, vibration, its frequency and wavelength change when it reflects the minerals in the water, and its molecules when it is in the structure, it will have the phenomenon of electrons leaving, so the molecular structure will be dismantled. And because of geological factors, the electrons themselves have partial polarity, which will be slowly affected by each model, program and time, so that the rearrangement of the molecular structure, how much reaction time, how much space, how much reflective surface, determine the priority we want to change the material molecular structure.
A large number of trace elements dissolved in water are invisible to the naked eye. It will regenerate permutations. In fact, it is in a combined state. It is already in the water. If you break them up and put them back together, the whole thing comes out, so it's not out of thin air. Because water is the best solvent, human beings have very limited research on water, and things that cannot be seen by the naked eye actually exist in the water. This instrument just happens to be able to highlight these trace elements.
If there is no reaction plate in the photoelectromagnetic quantum technology, this technology would not exist at all. There are three decisive factors in this technology. The first is the reaction plate, the second is space, and the third is time. These three rings interlocking, it is determined by the most important factor of photoelectromagnetic quantum technology to change the molecular structure. In this mesh nylon cloth, when the light source reflects and hits the silver material surface, it will become a phenomenon of scattering and diffusion. Similarly, we need to combine this multi-layer reaction sheet in a fixed space, so that the rays in the universe, even the invisible rays in the air, can be reflected and impacted inside. When the frequency reaches a certain range value, will produce the phenomenon of electron dissociation. The electron dissociation itself is the most important factor of the molecular structure. After the molecular structure is disassembled, it will be slowly changed by the gravitational force and geomagnetic factors. The phase number of each the response time can determine the base of the wavelength and frequency change. That is to say, if we take this example, the selenium element needs a light source and wavelength in a certain frequency range, then in our fixed space, give it time control, can achieve the change of this wavelength and frequency, make it vibrate more frequently, the frequency becomes stronger and stronger, and then produce the change of molecular structure.
The treated wonder water has not only changed the trace elements in it, but also found through specific experiments that the properties and bacteria of the water have also undergone great changes.
From the perspective of biochemical technology, in biochemical technology, we have a biochemical reaction tank, which is a large container. In this container, you need to set conditions, the so-called optimal conditions. Any product, through this instrument, when you want to manufacture this instrument, you need to adjust its entire space, the conditions of the reaction inside, such as time, the dose of irradiation, the reaction, the time that the reactant stays in this machine, right? Then in the so-called physical and chemical environment outside, you have to use a reaction tank to find what scientists call the best situation and the best reaction conditions. So when using this equipment to manufacture products, the same reason, you have to adjust all the conditions of its time and space, the things produced are the best. This is technology. This is what people call technical know-how or patents. So speaking from this perspective, this set of instruments can be said to be a very advanced technological reactor.
The most specific and incredible thing about the photoelectromagnetic quantum technology experiment is the bone lesion test. The researchers first helped 25-year-old Ms. Yen to measure the bone quality.
The osteoporosis she measured now is 0.2, which is basically within the range of a green zone.
25-year-old Ms. Yan's bone density is only 0.2, although it is still not enough for osteoporosis, it is only in the low standard range. Now let her drink 600 milliliters of magnetized wonder water and take another test half an hour later. The bone density is unexpectedly increased to 0.5 in just half an hour.
Before you drink water, your bone density is 0.2, and after drinking water for half an hour, the density increases to 0.5, which can also be seen on this chart, an increase from 0.2 to 0.5.
Surprised, because I just drank a bottle of water, its value changed immediately.
Looking at other experimenters, some people's bone density only increased from 0.8 to 1.5, and some even jumped from -1 to +3 in about half an hour. In just 30 minutes, soft bones can be turned into hard bones, directly to after the photoelectromagnetic quantum technology has passed the verification of the instrument. It really makes people feel incredible.
Water quality determines physical fitness, and physical fitness determines health. Drinking high-quality water is the most basic condition for a person to obtain health. Wonder Water. Wonderful mineral and trace elements water.